Hey rockers, welcome back man for yet another true tale. You know, Halloween time is getting mighty close and I know a lot of you guys are big time into Halloween. So I thought, why not dig back deep and go back about, 24 years and tell you guys a Halloween tale. Hopefully I'll come up with some more before Halloween, but this one hit me tonight, so I thought, let me knock it out. I've been moving. Yeah, in about 2 weeks, I'll be moving on the day before Halloween. So I've been super busy, man, packing up this place and also painting the interior of the new place. And I'm pretty stoked about it. But man, I looked it up and it said the most stressful things in life are death, divorce, and moving. It sucks, man, but what are you going to do? So I'm a little tired, but that's going to be the norm for the next month or so. That's life. So I'm going to go back to the year 2000. I'm working at a radio station in Peoria, Illinois called WWCT, which was formerly known as Rock 106. But I believe at this point, I'm not sure if it was still Rock 106 or if it was Rock 106 Real Rock Radio. They had kind of changed a little, but it was still like WWCT, but it had different owners. Instead of Bruce Foster and Wayne R. Miller running the ship, it was, I believe, a guy named Mike Ray. A guy named Mike Ray bought the company, and that's who took over. And they called me and said, hey, you were on the previous Rock 106. We want to bring you to this station. I said, great. Well, I assembled my my loyal friend Chaplain Chip V to be my co-host for the Church of Rock radio show. And we also found a man on the street that we called Choir Boy Cue Ball. I think his real name was Brian. Anyway, we would have him go on the street and do various stunts, like call in on the phone and do different pranks and be like our man on the street. It was very funny. It was kind of like we were doing a morning show at night. And it was a very, very creative period where me and different friends would get together and create like parody songs and comedy skits. And we record these every week. We had all these different fake like radio shows within a radio show. And my friend Don Egan, shout out to him in Illinois, who used to host the 10 o'clock news on Rock 106. Don Egan used to do a lot of work for the show, and he was so good at it, man. He's such a great production guy. Well, we were getting ready to do the Halloween show, October 2000, right? And I thought, what can we do that would be really good to get people really scared and make them interact with us and put our man on the street, maybe more than one man on the street, and me and Chaplain Chip could have some fun. Well, we came up with a plan. We devised one hell of a Halloween plan. And before I tell you about that plan, could you please subscribe to this channel, guys? Maybe give this video a like, a thumbs up if you want, and leave a comment afterwards. Thanks for being here. Anyway, we came up with this plan that we are going to send people to Springdale Cemetery. Now, if you're not from Central Illinois, you're going, what the hell is Springdale Cemetery? Well, it's one of the largest in Illinois. It's a historic cemetery in Peoria, Illinois. It was opened back in 1855 with its very first interment in 1857. That means that's when the first person was buried there. Basically, almost 78,000 individuals are buried at Springdale Cemetery. It contains a big mausoleum as well and 15 private mausoleums. I remember many days in my youth, in my teen years and whatnot, hanging out at Springdale Cemetery and just having fun with friends, man, walking around and toking up and just checking out all the graves and just, you know, a lot of people like hanging out in cemeteries, and Springdale is a favorite amongst certain people in Central Illinois, especially those Gothic-minded people. But anyway, my friends, some of the more notable, by the way, before I tell you this incredibly crazy story, some of the more notable interments, people buried there, include Octave Chanute, the father of American aviation, also Lydia Moss Bradley, the founder of Bradley University in Peoria, Illinois. Thomas Ford is buried there. He was the governor of Illinois from 1842 to 1846. And of course, Hedley Waycott, American artist, is also buried at Springdale Cemetery, as is Anastasia Robin, a member of Napoleon's Imperial Guard. Yep, little info about Springdale Cemetery. So let's get into this. Don Egan and I get together with Chaplainship. We have a little meeting. What can we do to scare the hell out of people and make some really good radio? Well, we devised a plan that we were going to ask the listeners to come trick or treat with us at Springdale Cemetery. So we waited until the night of Halloween. Don Egan, bless his heart, he spent countless hours putting together this good, maybe 10-minute segment that sounded like it was completely real. And we planned it out to where at a certain part of the night on the radio, I was going to play that, and it was going to sound like what was happening live, because we were going to have Chaplainship and Choir Boy Cue Ball at the cemetery waiting for listeners to arrive, if they did, which they did, believe me, more than we thought. And because Rock 106, I believe, was a 50,000 watt station. It's one of the biggest. I mean, this thing can be picked up between St. Louis and Chicago a lot of the times. It's crazy. So we had a lot of listeners, a lot. And that was a great thing. I'm grateful for my time in full-time radio. The night came. I got the tape from Donnie. We figured it out. We made a plan. We sent Choir Boy Cue Ball in ahead of time, early, and he was decked out all in black. It was pitch black in the cemetery, pitch black. The guy literally climbed over the gates, which were locked because the cemetery was closed, right? He went in back in there and hid himself back in there, like between some trees or some bushes where he couldn't be seen. We found a couple other volunteers too that did the same thing. They were hidden in various spots, but they weren't going to like jump out at people. They were going to make noises. They were going to shake things. And one of them, I think, even was dressed as a ghost or something like that. Also, Chaplain Chip V was there meeting people at the gates. So we got on the air and I'm like, here we are. It's Halloween. It's our Halloween show. Welcome to the Church of Rock. It was our Sunday night show. And that continues today, by the way, every Sunday at 6 o'clock Pacific time on KSKQ Radio. So Chaplainship is at the cemetery. I'm at the radio station. I get him on the air. I put him on live. He's like, hey, Reverend Moody, I'm here at Springdale Cemetery. If you're listening, come on down. And we loaded him up with a bunch of candy. He had a bunch of candy and a big pumpkin. And anybody that came up got candy from Chaplainship and the Church of Rock. And they were invited to climb the fence and go explore the cemetery. We did not know or anticipate that a dozen people would come, nor did we anticipate a few dozen. It was insane. We were like, oh boy. Chaplain calls me. He goes, dude, there's a lot of activity here. And this is off the air. I'm like, really? This is great. He goes, yeah, I'm running out of candy. And I'm like, there's that many people? He goes, bro, there's a lot of people climbing over the fence. They're all going in there. And I'm like, okay, so I want you to do the same thing. Climb the fence, get in the cemetery, bring everybody you can, and tell me what you guys see and hear. And he immediately does that. And next thing you know, everyone's in the cemetery and you can hear that it's quiet and they're all spooked. Who wants to be in a cemetery at night, right? It's like 10, 11 o'clock in the evening. This was a 10 to midnight show. Anyway, it's dark. It's really late. It's illegal. Well, while they're walking through, you can hear girls and various guys kind of screaming and getting spooked out, and you can tell that they're on edge. They're nervous. They have anxiety, and it's all live on the radio, and Chaplain's talking to me, and he's even kind of spooked because he just kind of was. But he knew what was coming. Next thing you know, they get next to some certain bushes, and my buddy starts shaking them, and people scream like little girls. It was crazy. And then another guy did something that was hidden, and somebody else saw like somebody walk behind something, and that was it. All hell broke loose. People are screaming. People are yelling. Chaplain's like, I don't know what to do. This is all live on the radio, right? And I'm laughing, and I'm sitting there cracking up thinking, ah, ha, ha, ha. This is great, man. And so I pressed play on the pre-recorded recording that Don Egan had made, and it sounded like what we had just heard, people screaming and running, except it was terrifying. This guy took like stuff from like the Blair Witch, different movies, made his own sound effects, and created this 10-minute montage of what it sounded like people almost being attacked by demons. It was crazy, and it was realistic, like really freaking weird. Like if you were listening, you would think, oh my God, what's going on at that cemetery? What are these guys doing? Is there somebody already in there, like terrorizing them? What's going the hell? Why are they all screaming and running? And then Chaplain starts playing along. He's like, yeah, man, we're hearing stuff in the trees. There's people. We saw somebody run behind something. I'm getting the hell out of here. Well, when they got to the front gate, guess who was waiting for them? That's right, Officer Friendly. The Peoria Police Department showed up. They were listening to the radio because they're radio fans, and those guys were known for being fans of Rock 106. I talked about that in a previous video on this channel. You gotta go scroll through the videos to see that story, guys. Anyway, the cops are there, and Chaplain's like, uh-oh. I go, what? So I'm playing music in between some of this stuff, right? I come back to it. The screaming stuff's going on. People are hearing this. And the next thing you know, before I can cut away to play to more music, all of a sudden, Chaplain Chip's like talking to a cop right next to the phone, and I can hear them talking. Again, this is live on the radio. So you hear people breaking in the cemetery. You hear me instructing them to do so. You hear people walk through it, and then you hear them get scared, and then they get freaked out, and then it's all hell breaking loose. And the cops are literally chastising Chaplain Chip. He doesn't know what to do. So the cop says, let me speak to Derek. So I knew they were listening to the radio. So he gets on, he goes, Moody, this is so-and-so from the Peoria Police Department, and this is live on the radio. And I'm like, what's up, officer? He goes, look, man, I've been listening, and what you're doing is illegal. You need to get these people out of the cemetery right now, man. And I'm like, okay, yeah, sorry, just a, fun little Halloween prank gone wrong. He goes, yeah, I could really do some major citations right now, including you, but just get everybody out of here, man, and we'll be good. And I'm like, oh my God, because he literally could have gotten me fired. They could have probably sued the station. We could have had listeners sue the station. It was terribly gone wrong, because what happened was, as soon as I got done talking to that cop, and this like 15-minute crazy segment went on the air about all this craziness happening in the cemetery, guess what happened? I go to put a song on, right? Like some Ozzy or Black Sabbath or Alice Cooper for Halloween. And there's all these like phone lines that light up at our station. And we have like 6 of them, right? Or maybe 3 at that station. Then there's one called the hotline. And if that ever flashes, that means it's the boss and you have to answer now. And it's usually not good. Well, it flashed and it's a bright red color. And it's like terrifying, because I know they were just listening to everything that just went on the radio. Well, I picked it up. I go, hello. And it's my boss, Jamie Markley, my program director. And he's got his teeth gritted like he was other times that I violated rules at the radio station that I talked about and other places on this channel. And he's like, Derek, you really had me going, man. I cannot believe that. He goes, man, I got to tell you something. Even though it's not cool what you did. He goes, that was some good radio, man. He goes, you had me going. I can't believe you pulled that off. He goes, how in the hell, what was that, all that stuff I heard? And then I explained to him all the, production Don Egan had done, all the pre-planning we did, and all the candy and all the people. And he was like, man, job well done, job not well done. Don't ever do that again. He was pissed. But he had to give it to me. It was damn good radio. So trick or treat, or as Robin Williams used to say, if you're obsessed with fish, trick or trout. Haha. Thanks for being here, man. I hope to come up with more Halloween related tales in the next few days or so. If not, I've got a good Christmas one. I really do. Anyway, thanks for being here. More soon. Please subscribe, like, share, comment, and all that good stuff, man. Keep rocking, man. Cheers.